and do it.
What do you have, Billy?
We got some slime line to give away and a $25 Fish USA gift card. So I'll let Spencer figure out how we're going to give that away.
Wow. You throw this at me right now?
Hey, I figured no better time, right?
Yeah, that's fair. We'll see how creative I can be in the moment. But
yeah. What do you think, Jackson? Way to drop the ball.
We're live. It's official. We're talking about all things fishing tackle from, anything attached to a fishing rod. I think. Can there be fishing tackle that's not attached to a fishing rod?
Bush light.
That's
if your line sucks.
That's condiments. Or a garnish. I think a bush light is a garnish. Although I'm no bush lights tonight because I'm getting good sleep and I want to keep it that way. I don't want to interrupt my sleep any more than my sleep's already being interrupted. But I do have fizzy waters. So
yeah. All fancy like.
Mm-hmm. Two for $4 at the local Come and Go. That fine establishment.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're going live, or we're live. Last week we took a little break. I feel like it was warranted considering I had my first child, Otto Martin Bauer. He was 8 pounds 3 ounces. He's got big hands for a baby. Like I'm scared. I'm scared he's going to be like 8 years old and just whooping my ass. He's going to grow into them things, and it's going to be game over. No, the way I look at it is so he's probably going to be beating my butt quicker than I like to think. So I'm going to have to talk trash on fishing because that's going to be the hardest thing for him to beat me at for a long time.
You never know. He may be born with that too.
That'd be cool. Jackson, have you beat your dad in a tournament yet? Have you even fished against him in a tournament yet?
Yeah, I beat him in a Battle of the Lakes this year.
Nice.
I think we ended up in third. I don't think he placed.
Did you get grounded?
How did he take that?
No. Pretty well, I guess. I don't know. I didn't sit there and rub it in because
he doesn't know he hasn't talked to
a lot more time.
He hasn't talked to him since. No, I didn't. I don't know your dad very well, but I know him a hell of a lot better now than I did 5 years ago. And from the outside looking in, you look at guys who just do really well at tournaments. You hear their interviews and little things like that. And I always assumed he was pretty competitive, but the little bit I've gotten to know him since, he is extremely competitive.
Yeah, he's pretty competitive. I mean, you're out there to win when you fish in tournaments.
Sure.
I'm out there to win if I'm fishing for bait.
Yeah.
Every time my son used to outfish me when he was little, I'd tell him he's grounded or he's got to walk home or something.
We did used to keep count of who caught the most skipjack all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
The nice part about that one is no matter who wins, you both actually win because you have bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, I don't miss the skipjack life. The skipjack life is a hard life.
It can be.
Yeah. Like
it's fun when you're on them though.
Yeah, but I'm a shad guy. Like you can go dial in 4 or 5 spots, and like this time of year you go here, this time of year you go here, water's up, you go here, water's low, you go here. And it's not an all-day deal to catch bait to go fishing. Like you can go catch bait and then you're good for like 2 or 3 days, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think I've probably only used like 4 or 5 skipjacks since the end of November.
Oh, you've been shadding it up? Nice. They work, man. Don't matter where you go. Anywhere in the continental U.S., you can catch catfish on a shad.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like the jumbo ones, though. I don't keep them unless they're 8 to 10 inches or bigger.
For sure. Well, I guess I should introduce
difference at times for sure.
I should introduce everyone. We got the Flathead Assassin, Ryan Tasler with Tasler Guide Service. We got Captain Jackson Mitchell. Do you have a nickname, Jackson?
I don't, not that I know of.
Do you want one?
I'm fine with whatever.
Okay.
Not that people call him to his face.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we got Billy with Fish USA. So we're going to be talking about tackle, and he's going to tell you where to go to get it, which fishusa.com is expanding their lineup of catfishing tackle all the time, which is why they reached out to me, and that's kind of fun. So,
in all fairness, we didn't reach out to you, Spencer.
You didn't?
No, I think you pitched yourself at CatCon last year.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But hey, it was an excellent pitch, and here we are.
Hey, here we are.
Suckers.
All right, well, bullhead. Got to do bullhead.
Sparkling water included.
Mm-hmm. Hey, the rules are you just have to have something to drink. It doesn't have to be anything special. You just got to have something to drink. So. First thing, let's start with the big stuff and work small. Start with catfishing rods. What, in your guys' opinion, makes a catfishing rod a good catfishing rod?
We sell a lot of them. Sorry.
Yeah. Billy, you don't even catfish.
So what's your number one selling catfish rod, Billy? Do you know?
Well, our number one selling rod SKU over the last 4 months has been a Catch the Fever Ravix casting rod.
Hell yes.
Which we are currently completely sold out of.
That's not a hell yes. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but there's more on the way.
Yeah.
We got a handful of spinning left that are going fast, but yeah, our number one selling catfish rod at I would say honestly, ever has been the Ravix casting.
Man, that's cool, man. That makes my day hearing that stuff. That's pretty neat.
We're proud of what you guys built, man.
Yeah, I'm not a real proud person, but I'm kind of proud. I'm proud of two things. Fishing wise, I'm proud of, now that I'm a father, I'm a proud father, but fishing wise, I'm proud of that rod that I got to help design. And then I'm proud that I can go different places I've never been and still catch some fish. Like I'm pretty proud of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jackson does that too, except he doesn't just catch fish. He does it better than everyone else in the tournament.
I don't know, but
I do. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the catfishing rod. Like you go, there's a million different catfishing rods. Some say catfish, and some rods are great catfishing rods. They're not even designed for catfish, but they like, what are the characteristics you look for when you are going to go buy a catfishing rod? But I left it vague on purpose.
Who's up?
I'll start. Well, I mean, it depends if you're talking, channel cat, blue cat, if you're anchoring versus if you're drifting, or flathead if you're fishing right in the junk, or if you're fishing at night where they come out of the junk. All those variations lend to different specialized rods. If you're closer to the junk, you want something with a little backbone that can bring it right out. If you're fishing channel cat, especially in the spring or in shallow water, you want to pick up those real light bites. So, I mean, a lot of the rods on the market are way too heavy for a lot of multi-purpose issues. So I tend to go for like a medium heavy versus the extra heavy or heavies, just because they're more forgiving, I guess, for the smaller bites as well as the backbone to get the bigger bites.
Well, you're kind of diving into the direction I was assumed we would go. So we might as well just go right into it. And since I don't want to leave Captain Jackson out, we'll just talk about the big fish stuff. So
I can talk for Jackson. He's got extra heavy, and he's gonna let those blue cats bend it over like a horseshoe, and he's gonna bring in the 100-pound fish.
Well, all right. So why, Jackson? Why do you use the extra heavies?
I like extra heavy. I like a fast action though. Like I do want a soft tip, but I want it to be a fast action. So I don't want it to load over like a horseshoe. I want it to go straight into the backbone because I fish around a lot of structure. And
Okay.
I mean, it's with big flats or big blues. Either way, I mean, everybody's seen it before. Fish blue cats. They don't always just bow it on up. Like I think last March we had an 82, and the only thing that we picked up on the rod tip was a vibration like that right there, and then just seen the line started swimming sideways, where he was just dragging a sinker and was coming back at the boat. Never bent the rod over.
And you, so the caveat that I'm going to throw in because of the rod, what I look for in a catfishing rod is going to be a little bit different for a handful of reasons. But you're using mono, right, Jackson?
Yeah. That's another thing why I like to use a lot of backbones, because I feel like with the stretches of mono, you need more backbone, where you can get away with a lighter rod with braid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with the braid, too much backbone is a bad thing. To a point, you still got to be able to move the fish, but you need forgiveness somewhere. And if you're fishing the mono, which is not as good as braid, but
you want to line up tournament trophies with Jackson, or
no, I do not.
I mean, if you put a 50-pound fish up against the rock with braid, he cuts it like a knife every time. And I pulled some fish out of some pretty gnarly rocks and concrete walls around dams, where the mono comes back like it's come over a cheese grater and still get to fish in the boat.
I just don't let him get there, Jackson.
is that because you never hook them up, or?
Yo.
Okay.
No, so you do need forgiveness somewhere. Mono stretchy. Mono, the heavier mono isn't as stretchy. Like you get 50-pound mono or heavier, it's still going to have quite a bit of stretch, but not like 20 or 30. But it's going to stretch 20 to 30% when it's completely maxed out. So if you have 100 feet of line out, you got 20 foot of stretch in the line itself. So there's a lot of forgiveness there. And I'm with you, Jackson. If I'm fishing mono, I want something that is a rod that's stout to decrease some of that forgiveness, and I think, Ryan, you're kind of the same way there.
I am in bigger water, especially when we get in our smaller rivers and creeks. Then I like a more sensitive rod because the bites just aren't as heavy.
Yeah, flatheads are just sensitive little guys like myself.
If I was only blue catfishing on reservoirs or bigger rivers, then yeah, I'd want the extra heavy to heavy. But on my smaller waters, I tend to do a little better with a little more give, even with mono.
Gotcha.
So from the standpoint of the line, do you feel you're sacrificing sensitivity going with mono, knowing that braid is naturally more sensitive?
Well, with my personal presentations, sensitivity is not all that important. I'm a cast and let sit most of the time. Now, if we're bumping, then I definitely use braid. Or if we are, if we're drifting or pulling baits that is more out in the open, then I'll use braid more times than not.
I will say I'll concede for whatever reason, mono, when you're dragging baits, mono seems to get bit more. I don't know why.
It absorbs all them waves from the shop. Your boards.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not jumping up and down quite as much.
I mean, that absolutely makes sense. Whether that's it
Yeah,
or not, who
yeah.
knows?
No, I mean, I would say with mono, yeah, you're gonna. I mean, you're especially when you're talking, again going back to the 100 feet of line out. I mean, there's a big difference in the action, just in the, not only the type of line you're using, but the diameter of the line you're using as well.
Yeah, it's going to drag differently with the water moving past it with that thicker mono. And if I was like total, I mean, I've went back and forth on this before, like to have a different set of rods just for dragging baits with mono. I don't know, because I like braid for the stuff that I like to do, but you get out, like I just don't like to drag baits that much. Maybe that's part of it. Like if I can get them on anchor, or if I can get them walking a bait, that's how I want to do it. But I do think dragging baits mono is better, and it's probably for the reason Jackson was saying. Like it just reduces your bait isn't jerking around back there nearly as much with the mono compared to the braid.
Well, it's also more forgiving, right?
Right.
If it gets caught on something, that mono is going to stretch, whereas that braid's just going to grab it and it's going to pull. So
1,000,000%. Jackson, what pound mono are you using?
I'm using 40-pound slime line.
Okay. You guys got slime line, right? Oh yeah, you do, because you're giving some away. Are we giving away 40-pound slime line?
No, I got 20.
20. So got the channel cat stuff. Although you could catch a big fish on that. So the last time that I used mono regularly was when I was fishing below dams, and I would cast the bait under a bobber and into the hydro, and the hydro would suck it into the around the pylons, and then you'd get bit and you'd have to drag them out through that concrete pylon. And I would use 20-pound mono, and I used that light stuff because I'd have to cast 120 yards to get it there. But I've caught 20, 30-pound fish on 20-pound mono and drug them through concrete, just like Jackson was talking about, and it worked pretty darn good. So I don't know. It's versatile. It's good stuff.
Now, how often are you going? Are we using leaders the vast majority of the time?
I am.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So what are you using are you using the same stuff for leader, Jackson?
I use 100-pound Andes.
So why do you go with the heavier mono leader than versus the mono mainline?
Well, I feel like it's a lot of these big blues in North Alabama. It's got really rough mouths. And then I feel like that's going to be my closest contact to the structure, is where the fish is at. And I'd rather lose the whole rig than just lose the hook and the fish.
Sure. Is that what you do, Ryan? What?
I run 80 and 80.
Okay.
So
Which is beefy.
I don't know if I could break 100. 80's hard enough.
Jackson, do you have any tips for breaking mono in the boat? It just stretches so damn much,
You're at the bow before it comes off.
Right.
Well, if I'm an anchor, most of the time I try to go back and get it. But if I'm dragging, just cut the trolling motor up and cleat her off.
Oh, you wrap it around the cleat of the boat?
Cleat, rod butt laying in the floor, rod holder, whatever's the closest.
So
sometimes if I got a big enough jacket on, I'll wrap it up around my arm.
There you go. If anybody's curious,
and if he gets tossed in,
you don't want to wrap it around your reel. You bend worm gears.
Well, and it's hard on your line too. You get them kinks in it. It's not the best for it. For braid, if anyone's curious for braid, what I do is just crank the drag down as hard as you can, and you reel the line till it's like straight pointed at the snag, and then you put your thumb on the spool. And this is where it's probably not the smart thing. You should use a stick to wrap your line around it, but I just wrap it around my hand and clench my hand as hard as I can around the rod handle. And I just give it the sharpest, fastest, strongest tug you can. Just pop. And even with 80-pound leaders, 80%, 90% of the time snaps, busts right there. You get your sinker back and tie on a new rig. All right. Did we ever really talk about? All right. So we're talking about big fish. Jackson's using stout rods. Ryan's using stout rods on big water, slightly lighter rods in creeks and smaller rivers for flatheads. I'm using the Ravixes. I designed them with a handful of attributes in mind. One of them was a forgiving tip section that gradually bends into a stouter backbone. And that lighter tip helps with detecting bites. That gradual buildup of tension towards the butt of the rod helps two things, like helps the fish more gradually load it up on a bite. It also creates a buffer, because a lot of people talk about backbone, a lot of people talk about forgiving rod tip, but not that many people talk about what happens in the middle, and you see a lot of rods that are just broomsticks, and then on the end they just have a little wiggly tip, so you get a bite, you see the bite, you set the hook, and then you're fighting the fish on a 2x4. Well, that fish is going to roll, that fish is going to head shake. They don't just run and you crank them in and run and crank them in. You get a lot of stuff going on and erratic motions, even on a big fish. And I'm convinced that a stout rod without that forgiving middle section, that at least moderate to moderate fast, slightly parabolic bend there, you're going to pull hooks. And everyone's using heavy line. You don't, like, if you're running 40-pound mono, you don't bust that many fish off. If you're running 80, you don't ever bust a fish off. And sometimes you reel in boats probably. And,
unless it's in the rod holder and you forget to set your drag, huh?
Right. But you pull hooks get pulled fairly often, but that forgiving midsection helps absorb shock, take a little like every head shake softens that tension on that hook when that fish is down there throwing its head back and forth.
That's an excellent point. At some point between the reel and at some point between you and that fish, there's got to be something that's going to be forgiving on those thrashes or those runs, no matter what the species is. And a lot of the times, if it's it comes down to really two main things, right? It comes down to the action of your rod and where the backbone is and the parabolic bend of your rod, but also it comes down to the your reel in a lot of instances too, when you have drag coming into play.
Well, some of those rods that are so stout, the only forgiveness is the reel.
Exactly.
And I
want, and you want it to be a combination, right? You don't want it to just fall back on that last piece, right?
Right. So those are the characteristics I'm looking for in every single catfishing rod. It doesn't matter. We're talking about blues. We're talking about flatheads. We're talking about channel cats. We're talking about damn bullheads, Oh, I said it. Bullhead.
So from a rod characteristic standpoint, here's the most fascinating thing about the catfish category since we got into it. Why so many colors?
What's that?
Why so many colors? I mean, I'll give Spencer credit. We got one color Ravix.
I agree.
I mean, I've never been a guy who's too wrapped up in looks, mainly because I feel bad about myself if I thought too deeply about it. But some people really, really care about it's a trend that started, I think. I don't know who started it. I know a handful of different rod companies have really jumped on that bandwagon of offering different colors. I'm just not, me personally, I'm not a big color guy. Hell, whenever I've built rods for a long time, whenever I build rods, I just build them straight black handle, black wraps, black guides, black everything. But that's just me. A lot of people really like it. And I don't know. Maybe it's the custom option, to get.
I think it is. I mean, I think there's some appeal there. I mean, I've seen some pretty cool setups.
I don't know what.
It's definitely it is the only species category where there are that many where you can have a medium a 7'6" medium casting rod in 18 different colors. It really is. I mean, listen, I love all fishermen, but fly fishermen, man, are they? They can get snobby about the way their gear looks, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of colors of catfish rods.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique thing to catfishing. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I just know that it's unique to catfishing, and that's. I do know. I kind of feel bad for the smaller mom and pop tackle shops, because they can only afford so much inventory, and when you have a company that's got a bajillion different, like the same rod, we're talking about the same rod. It performs the same way, same power, action, whatever. But there's 7 different colors that you got to keep in stock. Like, yeah, that's 7 different SKUs,
At $150 a piece. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then you throw in 4 actions, right?
Yeah.
And then if you get into the spinning rods, then it's yeah. Let's just say it's real fun to be the catfish rod buyer at Fish USA.
Sure.
Well, I would say, the guys that have black lights either on the bank or on their boat, those neon colors definitely look awesome.
They do.
Can detect bites. But the prettiest rod I've ever seen are my Patriot rods from Catch a Fever. Those Patriot rods are just gorgeous. Like to the point where I didn't want to fish with them when I first got them.
What about the Fish USA rods?
I did see that when I was in North Carolina. They are badass.
So obviously they're pretty sweet on top of being Fish USA.
And they're buy one, get one free right now.
There's still BOGOs on
Just
the
a quick shameless plug there, guys.
Dude.
They are badass. Blue and red. I mean, if
they turned out slick, they really did.
They look a lot better than the Cubs hat. That's for sure.
The Cubs hat issue is who's wearing it. The hat's beautiful, but the rest of it takes away from it. But that's sweet. I mean, you're going to get a Hellcat for if you buy one of those, they're basically $80.
I'd have to check because they're exclusive to us. The standard retail is higher.
Okay,
but I mean, you're still getting a hell of a deal regardless.
Right.
It worked out to being cheaper than what you would pay for a single Hellcat that we're not allowed to do a BOGO on because we're not.
Understood.
You guys had Ravix rods on sale with free shipping around Black Friday. I bought my son 2 Ravix rods for $100 shipped to my door. That's crazy that you guys could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we and that's speaking of deals, and that's one thing that we are. If anybody watching isn't, you don't subscribe to our text messages, you don't subscribe to our emails, I would highly suggest it. Listen, in today's day and age, we all get text messages we don't want to read. We all get a bunch of emails that we don't even look at. But it's amazing, right? We go to these consumer shows, we go to CatCon, and we'll be at the Bassmaster Classic here in a couple of weeks. The number of people that walk up to me and they're like, I get all your emails and I love them. And I'm like, well, that's not something you hear very often. But we work really hard to make sure that we're giving the customers impactful deals. I got permission to leak this. The entire month of March, all Trocar hooks are buy 2 get 1 free.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
note to self.
It's going to be fun trying to keep up with that. But the entire month of March at Fish USA, buy 2 get 1 on all Trocar. So we've got a very, very wide selection.
No, that's sweet. And that's cool that you guys do that. So, I mean, hop on board with them for that. And I'm on the email list. I check it out. So, and that's just one of a bajillion good deals that I've seen through you guys. So it's cool that you do all that stuff. And I don't know, you guys do good stuff on social media too. I enjoy your posts there.
Our marketing teams, they're lights out, man.
Yeah.
Nolan puts together some great content. Got a great movie out there that we did. We collaborated with Addicted Fishing and got out with Zach Royce, and they put together an awesome video. And yeah, I mean, the content that we put together, Nolan and the team, they do amazing work.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That was one where you have no problem watching beginning to end. It's not one of those you hop on, see what they caught, and then click off of it. It was like,
Yeah.
this is a good story, you know.
Absolutely.
That's what I do your videos, Spencer.
I don't blame you. You and everybody else.
I didn't even know he did videos.
Yeah. I will say if I start to say even dumber things than normal, the garage smells like gas right now. I might have spilled a little in the boat along with a little fuel treatment. So if I start talking funnier, you know, it's probably
Yep.
the gas.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no big deal. Don't worry about it. All right, back to the tackle. Do you guys use different rods for dragging? We're still on big fish. We're talking blues. We're talking flatheads. Do you use different rods for dragging versus anchoring, or is it the same setup?
I use the same setup, different rigs, but a lot of that's due to my reel because I run a lever drag reel. I run at different drags while fishing.
Okay. So what's different? Like if you're same rods, same line, same reels for anchor drifting, you just set the reels up, the drag on the reels different one versus the other.
Yeah. So like most of the time when I'm anchored, and I feel like a lot of times too, that's why I don't need all that sensitive rod. Is I like to run it as low as I can get my drag because I always have that stopper I can go up too fast, and that's where I need to fight my fish at.
So you're talking you back the lever drag as far down as you can. Do you turn the clicker on?
Always run clicker.
So turn the clicker on, and when you get a bite, you can just push that lever up to strike. And
yeah, always push it up to the stopper, and that's where I always keep them at a fighting, or where I'd want my drag while fighting a big fish at. And the thing is, like the more current you get in, you can just slowly push that lever up just a little bit more, and it'll hold it there. And it's still basically like in free spool, even though you got this much drag on it because he's got the current helping him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm dragging, I go just up towards the top. I don't like to have it at my fighting drag or up on the stopper because a lot of times those strikes will be so hard. And it always, no matter what kind of reel you're running, you always got that initial strike takes a little bit more to get out.
Right.
And I've seen big fish break on that initial strike. So I always run it a little bit looser than what I'd fight a fish at dragging.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
As long as you remember to do that, that's kind of my problem.
Yeah.
But
That's the good thing about the lever drag system, though, is you can always look and see exactly where your lever is and tell how much drag you got on.
It's something that, like, I had a Penn International 975 for a little while, and I sold it because all my reels need to be the same when I'm catfishing. Maybe not the same model and everything, but function the same. Because if I wake up at 3 a.m. like a zombie, and I'm like fumbling around with this reel because I can't remember which one it is and how it works, that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling it and going a different route. But I always wondered, like, how come lever drags haven't really taken off in catfishing?
It's hard to say, really. I mean, I'll just use them because Dad's always used them, and that's just what I'm used to. And there's so much adjustability there. Like, if I got a client fighting a fish and I feel like I need to adjust the drag because they just got it in something and it just come out. I need less drag. It's a whole lot easier for me to reach over there and mess with the lever than it is to try to turn a star while they're reeling.
Sure.
At the same time.
Billy, do you guys carry any lever drags at Fish USA? You got any Shimano charter specials or Penn International 975s or anything like that?
Charters, no. I do know we definitely do carry some lever drags. Off the top of my head, could I rattle off some models? No. But we definitely do have some offerings there.
I'm looking it up.
I know Akuma makes one that I've used before, And Abu Garcia used to make one. I don't think they make one anymore. But that's a lot of what we started with was Abu Garcia ones, and then the
Yeah,
Shimano
so we have
Special.
the Warfare, and then we do have now I don't know what size you guys are using, but we do have our exclusive Akuma Storm Runner.
Are you talking about spinning reels?
Nope.
Okuma Storm Runner?
Hold on, let me see if
I've never heard of that one. We're all learning stuff today.
What's the
Right.
price point on lever drags versus like a cold water?
It depends. Like those charter specials are pretty reasonable, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, you can find used ones. We normally just buy used ones.
Oh, I see. The Storm Runner. Yeah, it's got a lever on it. They have a Storm Runner spinning reel and a Storm Runner bait caster, and it's a level line. And oh, they're big. That one's big.
yeah, they're big. A lot of pen options.
What's that?
They're for mono.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of mono, like a lot of
Yeah.
80-pound mono.
Mono's cheap.
That's true. And it could double as a shark reel. It absolutely could. Catching black tips on that would meet all the criteria of a good time. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
I used to be super big into the shark fish, and I think I showed off my Penn Senator 60-knot here once. I thought about bringing this up on a YouTube video and saying I'm catfishing with that, but
It's my ice reel.
yeah, real bluegills in on that thing. But that was fished with the intention of catching something like 500 pounds or bigger. And anymore, if I go shark fishing, I just want to catch them on catfish tackle, man, because that is so much fun.
Yeah, when Bobby goes, he just uses extra heavy, the revenge rods.
Yeah, he uses Hellcats. So does Zach Royce, and all those guys use those. And they're the extra heavies. You can put an 80 wide on those, but you could even go down to like heavy or medium heavies and put just your standard catfishing reel on one and have a blast. All right. So Ryan, do you use anything different for anchoring or dragging, or do you use the same?
I don't. No, I really don't. Mine's more situational versus where I'm at or what I'm chasing than, the actual strategy I'm using.
Yeah, I drag for blue cats and with the same rods that I would anchor for blue cats. If I did anything, I would drag with mono setup similar to what Jackson uses.
Well, I happen to have a set of 6 of them. If you wanna borrow them to try it out.
I might. Just seems like mono's just more effective for dragging. How about channel cat gear? What are you running for channel cat gear, Ryan?
I've got those striper stealth rods. I've got medium light striper stealth rods, and I love them. I absolutely love them. I've used them on the reservoir. I've used them on the river.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, a light bite, a heavy bite. I mean, it's worked perfect for every scenario I put it through right now.
I jokingly sent a picture of one of the striper stealth medium lights to Caleb, the owner of Catch the Fever, and said, I'm renaming these to Channel Cat Stealth.
Well, didn't he say they were going to rename it at some point? Because everybody was kind of, I don't know, striper stealth. There's not a nationwide. There's not as many striper fishermen as, other game fish.
I don't remember if he did that. And because that's like in the Southeast, striper fishing is big, man.
Well, I mean, anywhere they have them, it's big.
Right.
But they just don't have them very, very many places.
I'm going to spend some more time this year to try to peel back a few layers on catching hybrids in varieties of different water conditions, and those striper stealth rods will be utilized for like pretty much every live bait application that I try, which is going to be a lot. I'm going to be fishing a lot more shiners, live shad, stuff like that. Just trying to figure out what the hybrids do or different techniques that I can employ, year round instead of your standard spring. And then you get your late summer topwater bite. Like I understand those, but outside of that, there's a lot of months out of the year where I'm like, I don't know what the hell they do. I'm trying to figure it out. But
I watched a chopper fisherman catch a real big one the other day, like maybe 100 foot away from me on a skeet reese carrot stick.
And it looked like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
It was just bent like that.
Yeah, they were probably using like a 3 or 4 inch live shad and jigging straight up and down underneath the boat.
That meets all criteria of a good time.
Yes. When the fish comes up on the other side of the boat because your rod's bent underneath.
Hell yeah. Let's get into some tip stuff. Is there any like tackle tips or tackle hacks or tackle tinkering that you guys do to like bump your odds up? Like,
I'd say number one is sharp hook. Check it every time you reel it in.
What do you do if your hook's not sharp?
Sharpen it. You got a file, or more times than not, if my hook's been through the junk to where it's not sharp, I replace it. Most of the time I don't even sharpen them.
Music to my ears. I would suggest everybody replace their hooks.
Every 5 casts.
And buy you some 2-for-1 trocars that are surgically sharpened.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I buy my hooks in bulk enough that if I put it through enough damage that razor sharp point is not razor sharp, it's done its job.
Sure. No, I get that. I'm a cheap ass, so I sharpen my hooks, but a lot of hooks I'll sharpen them out of the box. Like, sure, they're pretty sticky, but I can make them sharper. So, but once you sharpen them once, you have to do it every time because you remove that finish and little oxidation, and that point gets dull. But that's the tax, that's admission to the game in my mind. So I don't mind doing it. How about you, Jackson? You got any tackle tips, tackle tinker and stuff? Any little things you do to make life easier or more effective?
I just always check everything. I always start like a good 5 or 6 foot above the swivel and go down my main line, check knots, leader, hook point, everything. Just paying attention because the one you have a little nick in is the one that the 80-pounder is going to bite every time.
We've all been there, right? Where it's like, I remember that nick. I felt that nick.
Too lazy to change it.
Yeah, 5 minutes later.
That's one perk of using the 100-pound mono leader is if you have a little nick in it, it's a little more.
It's still a 60-pound.
80 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. Do you pre-tie your stuff, Jackson?
I tie a lot of rigs up before I go out and stuff. I don't just sit there, when I ain't got nothing else to do and tie rigs. I probably should, but I've normally the night before I'll make sure all my rods and stuff are good to go and then tie up, 4 or 5 extra.
Do you do anything special to store them?
I wad them up and throw them in my tackle box.
Nice.
All right.
So what I'll do for that is I have basically a worm bag, like bass fishermen, bait fishermen. They store their little rubber worms in the little tackle worm binder thing. And as somebody who fishes for real fish, not bait, gosh, there's nobody here. Billy, what do you fish for? I don't want to talk trash about people that aren't here. I'd rather say it to their face. Are you a bass fisherman, Billy?
Yeah, I've been fishing bass tournaments for about 12 years now.
Okay, good. I'll keep going then.
And let's listen. The first time that I heard somebody refer to bass as bait was at Cat Kong last year.
Yeah.
I was just stunned. Like it was like
I didn't know what to say. I thought that he's like, okay.
My favorite story to tell anybody who bass fishes is I had a day where it was tough catching bait, and I stopped at this one last farm pond, and I think I had 2 bluegills in the bucket, and I made 4 or 5 casts. I caught a 15, a 17, no, a 15 and 18-inch largemouth, and like a hand-sized bluegill, and I threw them all in the bucket. And in Iowa, as long as they're over 15 inches, and you catch them on rod and reel, they're totally legal. Yeah. So I took them to the river, and I caught a 43-pounder on that 18-inch largemouth.
I believe it.
It's like 3 1/4 pound largemouth, and he got slurped up like a tater chip. You know, that 3 1/4 that probably would have, moved you up a few spots in some of them bass tournaments.
Yeah.
Just put them on a hook. No big deal.
That's bait.
Yeah, it's just bait.
But
anyway,
a 43 would move you up a lot more.
Just rolling over it.
But back to the worm binders, like leader bags, whatever you want to call them. It's just a binder. It's got Ziplocs, like heavy duty Ziploc bags in it, and I put my rigs in there. And there's all different kinds. You guys got a bunch of them at Fish USA. You can go buy them there. But it's just a handy way to organize your rigs. And if you're dragging, like the dragging rigs are usually a little more complicated, have some more knots, have more stuff on them, take longer to tie. You pre-tie those, put them in there. They're not tangled up, wadded up. They're easy to grab and swap out. And if you're walking baits, like there's been bumping rigs are 7 knots. Like if you busted it completely off, you have 7 damn knots to tie. But if you pre-tie them, it saves you some time. So those are the ones that I pre-tie the most, and I store them in leader bags.
So what kind of knots are we using?
What are you using, Ryan?
I usually use an improved clinch knot or improved blood knot on everything except for the hook, and then I run no knot Snell.
How about you, Jackson?
My main line to my swivel, I normally run a trilene knot. I'll run just a double surgeon loop or whatever you want to call it for a bumper or bumping weight. And probably a uni knot. And then on my hook, I run a power snell.
What's a power snell?
Don't worry about it.
It's a snell, but really powerful.
Yeah.
No,
it's 100-pounder.
On your regular snell, you got all your coils, and then you have your main line that comes on the outside. This puts everything on the inside of all your coils, so you don't have that one line that can get snapped, and then your whole knot fails. And then on a regular snell, you can take the main line and kind of push it loose. This one you can't do it. You got to cut it off and take pliers and twist the hook to undo it.
I wonder if that's is it like a uni knot around the hook?
It's like a snell, but I start at instead of cutting off however long I want my leader and then wrapping the main line around, I go through the eye of the hook twice and make a loop and wrap it around my hook there, and put everything on the inside.
I'm trying to imagine it.
I'll have to shoot you a video and send it to you.
This isn't the greatest media to showcase knots, but you can always Google that stuff and kind of get your ideas.
YouTube's amazing on knots.
I pretty much run uni knots for anything heavy mono. I snell hooks, and then for braid I use a Palomar. That's the simplest, strongest damn knot that's ever been invented. Billy knows all about Palomars. He's a bass fisherman. That's all you need.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how I tie off my boat onto the dock.
Are you an FG guy, Billy? That's like a big thing in bass fishing, isn't it?
I'm sorry. I got 2 kids. I don't have time to tie them.
When I went to the Amazon, I had to learn to tie an FG because the fish down there actually fight, unlike largemouth. So it was really important that I learned that. And it took a while. But I got her.
You're just going to keep going with that, ain't you?
Gosh, I was hoping to get a rise out of you. I was hoping you'd be like, you son of a bitch, you know?
Well, no, listen, largemouth don't fight worth shit. So I live on Lake Erie, so smallmouth.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, and I've been walleye fishing the last like week and a half. You want to talk about a fish that doesn't fight, but
Wet sock.
right. But they sure do taste good.
They do.
Yes.
They absolutely do.
I love how they thump a jig. Smallies do too, though. So at least they do fight. Coy had a good question. How about crimps? Anybody crimping, or is everyone doing knots?
I do on my traps.
Yeah.
A crimp cable.
You don't tie a Palomar with your cable?
7/32 cable.
That'd be impressive.
I
Your
crimp
hands would
my
be
main
like-
line or my leader line.
You do what, Jackson?
I crimp my leader line to my swivel.
Gotcha. So, what are the advantages to crimping?
You don't have to tie 100-pound mono.
That, and if you do it right, your tensile strength is still 100-pound. Where when you tie a knot, that is your weakest point.
Right.
So I gotta give Coy some love because I went in to place a purchase order for Dragon Master today, and my
Nice.
mind was absolutely blown by the amount of sonar sticks we're selling.
Which one are the sonar sticks?
Dragon Master.
No.
Duh, where have you been?
What
They make-
product? The sonar sticks. Is it a sinker? Is it a float? I can't remember which one it is.
It's a sinker, like a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Like they're long, skinny
the long
sinkers.
slinky weight.
Kind of like their inline dragon sinkers, but they're just like this long.
Huh.
Okay. So it's because all right. So for anyone listening, let's deep dive into this a little bit. Dragon Master designed this cool inline weight where you tie your hook and leader on one end, you tie your main line on the other, and it's super snag resistant because it's so like long and delicately drags along the bottom. It's a cool, unique, innovative, like novel idea. Which in the world of fishing, that's not always that common. So that's really awesome that they came
It
up
is.
with that.
The copycat industry.
What's that? Oh, copycat industry.
I mean, it's no banjo minnow, but it's pretty cool.
I love the banjo minnow, just for the record.
My son does too.
Yeah. See? And he's smarter than you. And so
Well,
yeah,
you could be a -12 and still be smarter than me.
that's fair. But anyway, so the sonar, you said sonar sticks, they're a weight as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen those. You got them at Fish USA?
Yeah, they're on the way.
They're on the way.
We sold out again.
Right with the Ravix rods.
So what's the advantage of the sonar stick over their inline sinker?
It's more for like crappie fishermen. So they'll run their main line to the sonar stick and then a small leader to their jig. So they can pick up on where their bait's at better on the forward facing sonar
Okay,
and also help have more bait control.
I got you. Okay, that was the disconnect for me because I hadn't heard of this product.
All right,
yet.
Spencer. I'm just sitting here acting like I knew the answer to that question.
You did good. You did pretty. You had me fooled.
Jackson saves the day.
I don't know if you're going to win a Grammy, but you got it by me.
Jackson, can you use crappie in Alabama? I forget.
No, we're not allowed to use
I don't
game
think
fish
so.
in Alabama.
Dumb.
Yeah, kind of sad, but The crappies
You
don't
want
bother
to start
me.
talking crap on crappie because Shane's watching. I got a text about the bass, the facial expression I made when you called bass bait. So
it's not even fun picking on Shane about crappies, using them for bait, because he does not care. Like,
Yep.
you can't even get a little rise out of him. He's like, oh yeah, we keep them all because, we don't want them to get stunted, and comes up with like logical reasons like that. I'm like,
But you talk about a guide who
It is
just has
damn
a
logic.
system down. It seems like when he runs his guide trips, he could do it in his sleep. Like, he's just got a system down that is just, he's like, yeah, I got 6 trips in 4 days.
yeah, he's good at what he does, man.
And then works another 80 hours.
I'm trying to think of any other tackle tips, tackle hacks, anything like that would help somebody. I can just feel the thinking right now.
I mean,
Line full in the koozie to keep it from unraveling in your tackle box.
Oh, that's a good one. So you
that
get
is
those the 1/4 pound round spools, like if you get trialing big game or Andy or something like that. Those are a little big.
that would take a big
I do it
koozie.
with my sinker droppers for my bumping rigs.
Half.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work as good with the slime line spools because they're too big. But if you have the 1/4 pound spools,
Shane, your spools are too big.
that could go a lot of different directions.
Spencer, what are those rubber band type systems that you bought 100 of way back when and gave me a bunch of them?
Oh yeah,
They work awesome.
God, what are they called?
That's why I asked you.
I have to look it up on my Amazon. They're leader spool wraps they're basically an elastic band that goes around your leader spool with a hole in it. You slide your line through the hole, and when you pull line off for tying leaders, your line doesn't go all over the place. You just pull.
It just kind of tracks it around the reel.
It's slick.
Yeah. And you can adjust it for different sizes of spools, and it works good.
We should give away a spool of slime line to the first person who can figure out the actual name and comment the actual name of the leader wrapper, mabobber.
They're white with blue lettering.
Yeah.
The sad part is that I don't know. I don't know if there's any companies who actually just make them and sell them. Like, a lot of them, like they include it as an accessory with like a line or leader bag.
They're like just advertisement type materials.
Or they include it with the spool line. Like, I know, I think Seaguard at one point, I think they did that.
Well, you buy the Seaguar leader line bag, and I'm pretty sure it comes with them.
So the Seaguar leader line bag comes with it. I think the Plano Edge line boxes come with them.
And like the slime fish bag, or that's not slime fish, it's something fish. Yeah, I'm not good with names.
I know you ordered a bag of them, and they came in like 50 or 100 of them. You're like, take these.
Yeah.
I will never use this many.
Turns out I did, because they disappear somehow.
I've still got 4 or 5 of them, I think.
Let's talk about reels. What is characteristics of a good catfishing reel? Let's start with a bait caster, and then we'll move to spinning reels, and we can talk about big fish, and then we can talk about your eater size fish and the differences between there.
Number 1 for me is a loud ass clicker, because I do a lot of night fishing. I do a lot of sleeping, and I want something that's going to wake me up and not be a hindrance. Like, it's got to be able to hold current, like not click because of the current.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it so bogged down that initial strike, it'll cause them to drop it. So there's a fine line there.
How about you, Jackson? What's another thing you look for in a reel? How about gear ratio? What gear ratio are you looking for your typical anchoring, dragging catfishing reel?
I use like 5-3-1.
That's
The
the
Shimano Charter Specials.
that's the classic, because the Abu
Yeah.
Garcias were 5-3-1. The PC Fun Chaos Pros are 5-3-1. That's just like almost all those pin reels, at least all the newer ones. I think some of them are 481s. If you get into the 209s, I think they're like a 3-3.
They're a 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
I don't know how many
3, 6
fish
to 1.
I've reeled in on a 209 and never thought anything of it until I used a real reel that had a good gear ratio. I'm like, these things are garbage.
The old pin 209 is about as indestructible of a reel as you'll ever find. It just sucks that it has that slow gear ratio. But
You could find one on a sandbar that's been there for 10 years, spool it up, and it'll work just fine.
it's good. It's good. You don't even have to oil it.
No,
Fine.
oil may screw it up.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that 5-3-1, all the way up to like those Alios reels that I'm using. They're a 6-6-1, but the big difference is the power handle. If you have a reel with a power handle, you can get away with that slightly higher gear ratio. But if you have that shorter reel handle with less torque and you're up into that higher gear ratio, it can be hard to turn that handle at times. I had a Pin Fathom 15 with the double paddle with the shorter handles. I think it was a 681, I think. And there was times where clients had a hard time turning the handle on that on some bigger fish, especially in heavy current. And that was the reason I made that big switch, or one of the reasons I made a switch from those.
Yeah, on my bumping reels, it's a necessity to have a high gear ratio.
Why do you want the high gear ratio for bumping?
So those slack bites or those fish that just turn and come up river when you got your trolling motor off and you're in 2 mile per hour current, you just can't keep up with slower gear ratio.
I feel like there's more of those fish on the Tennessee River than there is in a lot of other places. They seem to really like to hit it and either sit there or come at you for some reason there. I don't know why.
I've had a lot of fish on the Mississippi do it to me.
Yes, and the Mississippi. I wonder if the Ohio's like that. Have you ever walked baits on the Ohio?
The few I've caught bumping on Ohio's really whacked it, but that's been like springtime. It just kind of depends on the year here in Alabama, or the time of year here in Alabama. Like if we ever get current in late fall, which it seems like we haven't had the past few years, but those fish try to rip it out of your hand every time. Like just water temperature.
Have you ever had a fish on the Missouri River hit it and not try to rip the rod out of your hand?
The two bigger fish I've caught have just kind of slowly loaded it up.
Yeah,
Not
but
really
they
just took off, but
they didn't come at you.
yeah.
Yeah, for whatever
I've
reason.
never had one over there come at me, but on the Mississippi and at home, I've had them just. Sometimes you don't even feel them; it just where'd everything go.
Yep.
Think you have a snag, you reel up, and here it is.
Yeah, the Mississippi River fish do that a lot, and the Missouri River fish try to rip Ryan out of the boat.
He about got it done too.
Yeah.
I missed a hog one day. Well, my first fish I ever got a bite when I was bumping. It just hour after hour bumping. Next thing I know, I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah.
You may never have a bite like that walking baits ever again.
It'd be hard pressed because that was impressive. It was crazy.
Doing it on like guide trips in the shallower water at the house sometimes when they're really fired up, it's a lot of not paying attention and just hearing a whole bunch of racket. Someone's against the rod rack or somebody's like just barely still in the boat. It's some of my favorite way. It's probably my favorite way to catch catfish, bumping.
Yeah, I love it. If I'm walking baits for big fish, for blues, you catch some flatheads doing it. I haven't really put together a way to exclusively target flatheads walking baits. there's a handful of different patterns that exist on the Mississippi that I've played around with and learned from some friends that are pretty good at targeting flatheads a little bit. But if I'm doing that, I'm using the Catch the Fever bumping rod. I haven't got the chance to use the new one. Hopefully that'll be out here sooner than later.
It's sweet.
I got to hold it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet this would be really awesome, but I did not get to use it. But I like the old
So
one.
I now understand that the buyers are the last to find out about these type of things.
I'm sure at times.
Yeah. By the time you get it, it's been through 10 guys already.
Yeah.
I hope Shane's trying to sleep when I call him after this.
Yeah.
Little testing tune.
But the Alios reels, those low pros, they make those in an 8-1-1 gear ratio, and I've been using the same ones for the past 4 years, three or four. Well, when did you give me that one to test out, Ryan? That was the first time I used one, and then I bought one shortly after.
Yeah, that was before I even started bumping, so that'd been 5-6 years ago, probably.
Yeah, so I've been bought a couple of them shortly after that, and I've been using the same one since. So they've treated me pretty good. And then I run 80-pound braid, main line, walking baits, and then 80-pound leader, slime line, heavy cover. We haven't talked about that. Like, Jackson, your Andy that you're using, is that a copolymer?
No, it's straight monofilament. I don't like some of the coated stuff, like leader line wise, and the harder lines seems like they break a little easier. I like the softer, stretchy, not super stretchy, but not the real stiff, hard coated stuff. I've broke a lot of.
Really? I've had zero issues with it, and I actually prefer that just because of the extra abrasion resistance.
Yeah. I like mine to be soft, and that's why I go up to 100 so it can eat a little more.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's a different angle to look at it. Like, I'm running 80 and 80, and I like the coated stuff. It's a little bit harder to tie knots, but you just do fewer turns. Like when I do a uni knot, when I run the line back through the loop with 80-pound, I only do it 3 or 4 times. You don't have to run it through the loop 6, 7, 8 times. With that heavier line, fewer loops, it's going to hold just fine as long as you cinch it down tight. And I'm a big fan of that heavy cover stuff. I use the 80-pound when walking baits, and when I'm flathead fishing in Iowa, I'm running 60. Or not 60, it'd be 50.
Oh, there it is. Perfect.
Yeah.
You're using 50.
You got the 50 and the 80 right there. But when I've been down south, I've been using the 80 more, even anchor fishing, but that's mainly because the gator gars, they'll chew through that 50 fairly easily. But
they will prove abrasion resistant.
Yeah, yes, they will. I've landed several on that 80-pound stuff, and it's held up pretty good. I've been bit off a few times too, don't get me wrong, but that 80's held up pretty good. Yeah. Chris says he uses the Shimano Tranks for bumping. That's a beast of a reel. You guys carry those, Billy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are just powerhouse reels. Is that what you use, Jackson?
That's my favorite one. You got a 400 Tranks and like the 7:6-to-1 gear ratio.
Yep.
But I spool mine up with the 60 or 65-pound braid so I can get more line on there. I like to fish far away.
Yeah, I get that. Well, the other side of it too, all right, hear me out on this. A little bit thicker line has a little bit more drag and I think it helps with getting the bait further away. And as long as you have a reel that's got good line capacity, especially in a boat that's moving, like if you're moving with the trolling motor, if you walk it down to your last 30, 40, 50 feet, it's okay. Because even if you hook a giant and he's ripping line, you can kill that trolling motor and catch up on him pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I would run a float. And a lot of times, too, with the Dragon Master stuff, I like to run my Bite Me float all the way down on my hook and take the brush guard and put in the front of the float. And that'll put a lot of drag on there for you.
What's the brush guard called?
I think it's called a brush guard, but I like to call it a whisker biscuit.
Called a brush guard.
Okay. I keep hearing everybody call it the whisker biscuit, so I couldn't remember if that was the actual name for it or not. And if anyone's wondering what the brush guard is, so they came out with that inline float, which is pretty slick, and it's super like snag resistant as it is, but they have a brush guard that goes on the front. You slide your line through it. If you see a picture of it, it will make sense, but you slide your line through it and then tie your weight, and that helps it deflect off of stuff underwater instead of like going into something and wedging into it. That brush guard kind of guides it around it. And it's, again, a unique, novel idea that's pretty cool.
And I could see that helping for bumping a ton.
That's what Jackson
was
saying, you know. It
puts a parachute on it. You know, you pop it up and it would glide a hell of a lot further, I would think.
Yeah. For you novices that don't have the skills and you need training wheels. You know,
I need any tool at my disposal.
I just go with the all natural approach, you know. Although
that's why you're now a dad.
It's funny how things just rolls into another, you know. I will say though, I shouldn't say never.
Where are we going here, Spencer?
I almost never walk a bait without a rattle on it.
I agree.
You can disagree. Anybody can disagree. That's fine.
I want to be like the band coming leading the parade. I want them to hear me coming all the way around the block.
Well, and that's it. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it is if you're just running a chunk of cut bait, your scent and the visual side of it and the scent side of it are the things that entice a strike. And your scent flows directly downstream of the line you're bumping. But if you add a rattle, you have now a sound attractant, and that sound goes every direction. So you get the attention of fish, not just directly downstream, but off to the sides. Now, are they going to eat it because there's a rattle? No, but they do get curious and they come investigate, and then they see that there's something to eat, and then they eat the damn thing. So I'm a big advocate of rattles in moving bait presentations, whether it's dragging, whether it's walking baits, any of that stuff. Anchoring and current, I'll mix them in.
With live bait, sometimes it makes a big difference.
It seems to make the biggest difference that I've noticed for blues and channels. I keep enough logs and pay enough attention that I haven't found a connection on flatheads. They just
I know some nights, if it's a multiple flathead night, it's either they're all on a rattle or they're either all not on a rattle.
Yeah, I've seen it go both ways with the flatheads, and with the blues and channels, I haven't as much.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So fish don't have ears. All right.
Yeah.
Their ears are their lateral lines.
Exactly. So they're feeling vibrations in the water, right? So is there any catfish techniques that involve, obviously bass fishing, right? Crappie fishing, a lot of other species, walleye fishing, and a lot of it is the vibration with a blade. Is there any, I don't see any of that with catfish.
There's some guys, you can look at some old school in fisherman articles where they talk about trolling for cats with rigs similar to like crawler harnesses that the walleye guys use. But as far as mainstream catfishing, there's probably guys who do it and just don't talk about it would be my.
I would say and obviously I'm not a catfisherman, right? The biggest catfish, there's probably the top 3 or 4 biggest catfish I've ever caught have come on a chatterbait.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I keep thinking about experimenting with, and then I don't.
If you're fishing current or dragging, I learned this from Casey Tudorow, but you can take a body chunk and hook it through the gut pocket. And if you get it right in the center where the crease of the belly meets, it'll thump like that right there, back and forth.
Almost like a chatterbait. Almost.
Bumping and dragging or just anchoring and current. It'll just sit there and wobble.
It won't spin. It'll just wobble.
If you hook it right, you kind of got to play around with it, and it's just tuning like a crankbait or a chatterbait. It's getting the hook point in the right spot.
Well, I will say anything that you can pick up from Casey Tudorow is probably gold.
Yeah.
It's one worth writing down.
Right.
But
that's
I do
good
a lot
stuff.
of my down rod and current, and you can actually watch your rod tip just sit there and vibrate the whole time.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is cool. Tell you what,
Maybe wasn't supposed to share that. I don't know.
it's okay.
Nobody's watching. You're fine.
No, those are little tips that in your neck of the wood, Jackson, can make a big difference. In my neck of the woods, where there's 8 million channel cats, thankfully they're very forgiving, and I don't always have to pay attention to the details, but that's a good one when you're in a place with heavily pressured fish or just looking for something to give you a slight advantage in like a tournament situation. But that's a great tip as long as you remember. And again, that goes back to being one of my problems.
Yeah.
Remember it while you're on the water, not after you get back.
Right. I'm good at
So let's say we add this worm harness / blade. Would you do it like above a swivel? Kind of like the worm harnesses have the built-in swivel so it doesn't knot up. Would you keep it up above your bait quite a ways with a swivel below it to kind of...
I think you could go either direction, man. I think it'd be something worth experimenting with because you could put some beads and put it right above your hook, or you could put a bead and put it right above your swivel. I don't know. Again, I've thought about it and I just haven't acted on it. Let's go back to reels, though. We've been talking about reels. We talked about gear ratio. We talked about some big cat reels.
how easy my mind just shifts gears.
Well, yeah.
I won't be thinking about that the whole time.
That's why I write shit down, okay, so we can come back to it. So we talked about the big reels. What would be an example like of a good reel? Because we talked about rods. We talked about Ravix rods. We talked about Striper Stealth for channel cats. You guys, like Jackson, you're using the Hellcats, right? Extra heavies.
Yeah, the Hellcat Revenge extra heavy.
Yeah, Ryan, you're using the Hellcat. You were using the extra heavies, and
Now I'm going to go to all Ravix rods.
sweet.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. What reels are you putting on your big cat rods? Jackson, I guess you said Charter Specials. And
Yeah.
is that all you're using, or are you mixing other reels in too?
We got some the Penn Internationals, the 975s, over drag.
Okay.
And I think that's about all we got running right now.
What are you using, Ryan, for reels?
I fell in love with the cold waters, the Kuma cold waters, probably 5-6 years ago, and I haven't seen a reason to change. I mean, they've done everything I've ever wanted them to do.
They're solid, man. You can't beat them for the money, and they are getting more expensive, but they're still pretty affordable.
You can still find them on sale for $100 pretty regularly.
Billy, you guys carry those too, don't you?
We absolutely do. Yep.
Yeah. The Okuma Cold Waters, Fish USA. Are you using the 303s or the 203s, Ryan?
With mono, I use 303, which the 203 has a little bit. I think the 203 has the 5:3-to-1 gear ratio, where the 303 has the 4:8. So there is a little bit of difference, but for line capacity, I've got to use the 303.
Yeah. They got the beefier clicker too. Like the 203's got a good clicker, but that 303 clicker even wakes me up.
That's saying something.
Right. So for big cats, I'm using the PC Fun Alios 400s. I just like the sleekness of the low profile. They do have a clicker. They're not as loud as the Okumas or The pins got loud clickers too, or at least they used to. The squalls that I've picked up don't have quite as loud of a clicker, but the fathoms still got a loud clicker. But yeah, the PC Fun 400 Alios series, I think a 300. We'll get into that more, but the 400s are what I use for the big fish. If I'm anchoring or drifting, I use the 661 gear ratio, and if I'm walking baits, I use the 811. But let's how about channel cats? Or
the only issue I have with your Alios is their clickers don't hold up to current quite as well.
You got
like you get a lot of
you can't leave
them clicks.
Yeah, when they're in free spool clicker, it's not as strong of a clicker.
It's hard to camp with them.
Well, so what I've done is I switch my system up a little bit, where instead of putting them in free spool clicker, I'll put the clicker on and then back the drag down.
Yep.
And I've been using a hybrid style hook. It's not quite a circle, not quite a J, kind of in between. But it also works with circles pretty well, where you leave just a little bit of tension where a big fish eats your bait. He'll pull and the rod will bend and load up, but he'll be able to pull line off and you'll hear the clicker clicking. But when you run that, if you hear a single click, you only have to hear one click. There's a fish on it.
Fish is on. Yes.
You better go check it. But I've been really happy with how that system's worked. And my hookup percentage is, at least to my knowledge, has been pretty good. I could be getting bites and missing them, and just not hearing a click. But I'm not catching any less fish going that route, and it's treated me pretty good.
I agree.
All right, on to channel cat reels, which will probably be where we talk about. Or do you want to talk? None of you guys use big spinning reels? Do any of you guys use big spinning reels?
I never have. I don't have any experience with them.
So I don't really use big spinning reels for big fish, and 2 reasons. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. If you like spinning reels, use spinning reels. I don't, for 2 reasons. One is a reel with equivalent line capacity is huge compared to the bait casters, like bigger, bulkier, heavier. And then you also don't have the cranking power because of physics. Like when you turn a bait caster's handle, the spool spins the same direction. Where you turn the handle of a spinning reel, you have a gear going this way and a gear going this way, and you lose torque during that change of direction. Can you get around it? Can you work around it? Absolutely. And it's just a personal preference thing. If you're going to go the spinning reel route, it's tough to beat the pins. The pin battles, they're durable. They got a lot of history. I've been using the spinning reels from PC Fun for walleye fishing. They've treated me pretty good. I haven't put their big ones to the absolute test, but I have a Nautix 5000 on a Ravix spinning rod that I'm going to see how it handles some gator gar. We're going to try to beat the hell out of it and see what happens.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But I'm not the greatest person on those big spinning reels either for giving advice, but that's as far as which ones to get. But I do know the pin battles are battle tested and all that, all them spinning reels. But anyway, I've rambled. You guys ramble. Channel cat reels, Ryan. What are your channel cat reels?
I'm Team Akuma Avenger. They're cheap. They're smooth. They last a long time. And I'm not dealing most of the time. I'm not dealing with, fish over 15 pounds. So they handle everything I've thrown at them, either on a guide trip or personal fishing.
Billy, do you know how much they cost?
$40.
Yeah, I'd say $40-$50. I mean, obviously it's going to agree with size, but
because they got them all the way down to like 1,000 size. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. And they all have the free spool, the second drag, the line runner, whatever you want to call it, all like every single size.
Yeah, so we carry the Avenger B and the ABF.
The ABF is the automatic bait feeder. Is the one I'm thinking of.
Yep. So that one's going to run about 80, whereas the Avenger B is about 54. I do believe, yeah, I'm fairly certain they just redid those too.
Oh, Okuma did?
Yeah.
I got you. I haven't seen the new ones. I've fished the older style ones, the ABFs, a ton, and they are pretty darn solid spinning reels. Especially, they wouldn't be my first choice for walleye fishing. They aren't the absolute smoothest reel in the world, but if you're casting a bait and letting it sit on the bottom, who cares? Let's be real about it. Like, you want something tough.
I use them for trolling for channel cats a lot too. They work perfect.
I'm sure they work great for that.
Yeah.
Jackson, you guys, I remember your dad talking about using some spinning reels for channel cat fishing.
Yeah, we do a lot of light tackle trips during the spawn. So like late May through June, even sometimes in July, we'll do light tackle trips where we're targeting little fish on like 4/0 circle hooks and our skipjack poles. But we catch several 15, 20, 30 pounders on them, and the biggest one I had landed last year was 47.
Oh, that'd be a battle. What reels are you using?
A smorgasbord of cheap Walmart skipjack reels.
And that is another strategy. Like,
yes,
they're disposable. Is basically you use them till they don't work anymore.
Yeah. The little Fluger reels from Walmart, some of my favorite.
Yeah,
I've got those on my bait rods for sure.
Yeah. Well, I played around with the spinner reels a little bit. The Okumas are ones that I've used a lot. That's probably the bulk of my spinning reel usage has been those Okumas. And they're solid. They're tough to beat for all the reasons.
They are tough to beat.
Channel cat fishing, I'm still a bait caster guy all the way around. I use the Alios 300s and 6:3:1 gear ratio. They got the nice power handle with them. They also have the Alloy M, which is made for bait fishing, but it also is a solid channel cat reel too. And I'll walk baits. Like last year in particular, I walked baits for channel cats a ton, and it was a blast. And I use that Alloy M quite a bit, and it treated me pretty good.
Do you run on your guide trips? Do you walk baits, Spencer?
Yeah.
Down below that reservoir that you go?
There or just anywhere on the river, like depending on the water level. Especially if the water's up a little bit and the sandbars are flooded, you can walk baits on the downstream side of the sandbar and either just anchor and walk a bait on anchor, or that's pretty much all I would do. And then you throw anchor rods out too on top of that. And that's a great scenario to learn how to walk a bait, because
that's what I was kind of thinking.
Snags aren't much of an issue. You're doing it from a stationary boat, and you can really work on getting the feel. So I'll have clients walk baits right along with me if they want to give it a try. And it's a good time, especially when nobody's almost got ripped out of the boat like you did. But when you're bouncing that bait downriver and suddenly it comes alive, it's
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. But let's dive into hooks a little bit. So we talked about rods, we talked about reels, we talked about line. We haven't talked about hooks. We haven't talked about floats. We haven't talked about swivels, bobbers, getting to the end of the line. So let's go hooks. Ryan, what are you using for hooks?
Well, you just gave me some. I'm gonna try out. But usually, if I run a circle hook or a J, I've been whisker seeker for probably the past 5-6 years. There's Super J's, and then they're what's their hybrids called? The triple threats. Yep. Yes, I've had good luck on them. They are a heavier wired hook than a lot of the newer ones that are coming out. and there's pros and cons to all that, which we've talked about. But I mean, they're a pretty tough to beat hook.
Yeah, all around, they're a pretty solid hook for a variety of presentations. Like anchor fishing, dragon baits, walking baits. They're a solid hook for all of that.
Yes.
Available at Fish USA. How about
Yeah,
you?
that brand's been doing great. Listen, since they decided to go away from the model that they had, no, the Whisker Seeker brand has definitely performed extremely well. Excited to see what Pradco does with it. Now that it's more widely distributed, so it'll be fun to watch.
That and their products have just exploded in the last few years. They're coming out with so much new product.
Well, they touch so much. They have so many different subcategories, right? Whether it's hooks, terminal, all the way to rods, reels, cast nets. They've done a great job with the brand. It's definitely like I said, it's going to be fun to watch how they continue to grow it now that it's more widely distributed.
Yeah, I'm going to assume they just continue to expand on their product line like they have been. So to see, well, and they come up with, I mean, they were founded off of a unique, novel, innovative idea and continue to expand through that route. So I'm with you. It'll be interesting to see the stuff that they come up with. How about you, Jackson? What are you using for hooks?
Dragon Master, the stump jumpers, straight shank, circle hook. They probably one of the best hooks I've ever used. I like them because they're light wire. They stay sharp after multiple fish, and they're really strong. Like
I'm with you. They're my favorite circle hook right there. Like I kind of used it originally as more of a cold water, like because I like lighter wire hooks in cold water. And then I just kept using it like winter, summer, like whenever. They're just a good hook. And where I really like them that I didn't really think about until I did it was walking baits. Like if I'm bumping or walking or whatever, that light wire doesn't seem to get snagged as much. And it seems to get a bit more. I don't know if it's because your bait looks more natural with less metal stuck in it, but they seem to eat it more often. So
Brian St. Oma, actually at one of the tournaments one time was asking us, like, where's y'all's Dragon Master's hooks? I thought we sent you hooks. And it was actually his hooks on. They were just all gold from rubbing all the paint off.
Okay.
He's never seen one put through that much abuse. And they're still catching fish.
Just for everybody listening, they're supposed to be red. They started out red.
Wow.
I'm amazed you kept one on there that long without hanging it up. That's never happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times when we get to dragging at the house, a lot of featureless stuff, you don't really lose a whole lot of rigs.
Yeah, when I use them more for walking baits now than anything, and they like me. They get a lot of money.
I like the octopus style, the offset octopus style for walking and bumping.
So what one would that be?
It's the Dragon Master. They offer a different style hook too.
Billy? This is why you're here right here. What's the other Dragon Master hook? I can't remember the name of it either.
Pretty sure it's just offset octopus circle.
I'm fairly certain we carry every Dragon Master SKU. So
no, I'm pretty sure you do. Just not that my opinion really matters.
Google will tell you more.
Right. No, I think it is just the. You got the octopus circle hooks, you got the stump jumper, and then you got the weedless versions, right?
Yeah.
So is that similar in style to like the Gamakatsu octopus circles? That's the one I'm used to seeing.
Kinda. It's more of like a hybrid or double action, I think. So you can get away with jerking a little bit. No. messing up the hookup too much.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Call that a Friday.
Yeah. It's never a bad day when you get away with some jerkin. You're distracting me. Okay, I see it. It's similar, but it's a little different than the Gamakatsu ones that I'm thinking of.
So we're talking circle hooks, and then we're talking octopus circle hooks. In general, what's the main difference?
It's the bend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the stump jumpers would be more of a kale hook style bend, where the octopus style bend. So you could have octopus bend circle hooks, or you can have octopus bend J hooks. Like your super J's from Whisker Seeker, the bend at the bottom is an octopus bend, just the way that it's rounded.
Okay.
But the Gamakatsu ones, my hookup rate hasn't been great with those. I do better with the kale styles. I'm sure it's me. Usually I'm the problem, but
we've narrowed it down. Now fix it.
But that was the Gamakatsu octopus circles were the first circle hooks I ever tried and had success with, any type of success with. But the Dragon Master ones just have a slightly, I'm looking at them on the Fish USA site. They just have a slightly, the bend at the bottom is octopus style, but the way that the hook point is angled back to the hook, and also that hook point is angled more towards the eye than the shank. That is a little bit different. And it's probably kind of why Jackson can jerk it and get away with it. Well, how about J hooks? Move on from the jerkin. Well, actually, moving towards more jerkin with the J hooks. What do you use any J hooks at all, Jackson? Ever?
No, I don't ever run one. But I'm gonna be right back. I actually gotta go grab a charger cord. I'm on like 6%.
Do what you got to do. Ryan will talk about J hooks. He loves J hooks.
I do, especially in my small river.
What do you like? You already shared the J hooks you use. What do you like about them?
I like crossing their eyes. I like them loading it up and then me coming back and tugging a war in it. But truthfully, in a shallow water system, most of the time those fish aren't going to hit it and yank that rod enough to confidently set that circle hook. They either need reel down on real quick or a jerk back. Where, I'm talking flathead mainly because I don't have blues where I'm at. I've got to travel to play with the blues. If I'm channel catfishing, it's circle hooks every single time. If I'm flathead fishing, if it's me personally, I normally do J's. When I run guide trips, a lot of times I throw the circles just because it's kind of less human error to find a hookup. Because I've found that inexperienced anglers miss more than they hit when they're setting the hook.
I could attest.
So now I try to leave them in the rod holder as long as possible and let the fish do all the work.
There's definitely more nuance to the J than the circle.
Yes. Sure. But me as an impatient angler and love to feel the thump of hitting them on that hook set, I love J hooks. Absolutely love them.
Yeah. Now, for a fish that will bite it and just sit there like a flathead often does, there's no substitute. And you like the Super J's. I've kind of become a big fan, if I'm going to use J hooks, of the Gamakatsu Big Rivers, which I believe is available at Fish USA. I believe. Most of them, I'm pretty sure, but
they're not on sale, but
well, Trokar makes their version. I just can't remember what it's called. Do you remember, Billy? It's like that sickle style kind of funny looking bend.
Kind of got a V at the bottom.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run to the bathroom and find out for you.
perfect.
He's got, his bathroom is just a wall chart of all the hooks they have.
Yeah.
Every time he's taking a leak, he's memorizing another category.
But yeah, any of those sickle style hooks, I don't know. I think it's how deep the bend is. Like you can hook a bait and you still have a ton of gap exposure.
I was gonna say, especially with bigger baits, it seems to make a bigger difference.
Yeah. So if I'm going J hooks, like if I'm exclusively flathead fishing, I'm with you. I'm J hooks all day because
It's just so fun.
well, and you do have the occasional fish that buries it, and they'll just end up hooking themselves even on the J hook. Like
Yeah.
so, everything a circle hook would do for a flathead, the J hook will too. But the J hook will do things that the circle won't. Like you can still hook a fish that doesn't bury a rod down. Now, with that being said, your hookup percentage is definitely going to be way higher with the fish that pulls the rod down. But
In the right hands, a J is more effective, in my opinion. In the wrong hands, a circle is more effective.
yeah, in flatheads or
Yes.
just
In small river flatheads.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Which is my wheelhouse.
Right. Yeah. Now for channels, you're using triple threats too.
I usually, I dumb it down to a 4/0 triple threat, and they do well.
Big nasty.
Yep, it's the Trocar Big Nasty. I knew I could count on you, Billy.
That was my nickname in college.
What's that Billy Madison movie where he's like, "No, it wasn't." Yeah, well,
No,
you mean in high school? No, it wasn't.
no. I knew a guy. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, for the channels, I played around with kale hooks quite a bit last year and had generally good results. But it wasn't still not quite where I wanted it to be. If I'm dragging baits for channel cats, it's 100% circle hooks.
Yes.
I like a 5/0, regardless of style. 4, 5, or 6/0, somewhere in there. Just when it's earlier in the year and they don't smack it as hard, the 4/0 works pretty good. And then as the water temps increase and they hit the bait harder, the larger hooks seem to have a better hookup rate for whatever reason. So 5/0, 6/0. Some guys bump up to 8s for channels. I never do.
Yeah. That's a pretty big hook for a channel. Their
I mean,
mouths don't open very big.
It works. They hook them. But I don't know. I just feel like you have your bait isn't the more metal you got in the bait, the less natural it looks. And I just seems like I get more bites with either a smaller or thinner wire hook or both. So I try to go that direction.
I'm kind of thinking, in the areas where I pull baits, the common fish is 5 to 8 pounds, and you got an 8/0 hook in that mouth, and that fills a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean they can open their mouths pretty big though. Like they don't when you bring them in the boat, but when they're trying to swallow the bait, the 5-pounder got a mouth. I mean, he'd fit this can in there. He'd fit a Busch Light can in his mouth, no problem. So it's an 8/0 hook.
I guess.
Yeah. What about like floats? We can either talk about floats on your line, rattles, and then we'll go into like bobbers. Jackson, you play around with that stuff at all?
If I run any float on my line anymore, it's only going to be the bite me floats. Because I've lost too many big fish to hard floats, like the old peg floats, the old fish size yellow peg floats that are getting my bait and my float in there and just be smoking a reel and reel it up, and the styrofoam floats all the way down on the hook and crushed up. I've not had that problem with the soft the EV foam floats. The
Well,
bite me float.
that's a good point. So why don't like get into the details of why, like what's going on there exactly? You kind of said like they eat the float, they eat the bait, but what allows the bite me floats to be effective in that situation where the cheap foam floats aren't?
Well, the cheap styrofoam floats just won't compress down. With the fish biting, he'll keep his mouth open, and that allows for your hook to come out with the float. Where with
Oh,
the bite me floats, he can clamp his mouth completely shut around that float, and it gets him every time.
I get
Not every time, but
more.
it definitely helps the hookup ratio having something else on your leader.
You're catching fish doing it that way that you wouldn't have caught doing it the other way,
Yeah,
which
and
is what we're all working towards.
I've not I don't like to run anything hard close to my hook at all.
Yeah.
And I've lost 4 or 5 just really big takedowns while I was still using old peg floats, old styrofoam floats, and even the demon dragons where they've got something hard in their mouth and it just leaves their mouth open and don't let them completely close up around the hook, and it pulls the hook out with the bite.
Another cool thing about the bite me floats, back to unique novel ideas, is the pegs in them. You can buy the pegs that rattle, right? Don't they have rattle ones? Which is
they actually come with the rattling pegs.
That's kind of a neat idea. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now, as far as the spook style rattles, like Zara spook style rattles go, do you thread your line through them or do you tie them on?
I used to just thread them on there, but I got away from using them. I don't want anything hard body, hard styrofoam, anything that's going to mess up my hookup ratio if he ends up getting that in his mouth too.
So what I've done to get around that, because there are situations where I think that hard plastic rattle increases your number of bites. Again, moving bait presentations, either dragging baits or walking a bait, more so than anchor, although in current, it seems to play it, like heavy current especially, it seems to play out a little bit too. But what I'll do is if I have a chain swivel, like tied in the middle of my leader, I'll take a split ring and attach the chain swivel to the back of that float. And then I'll attach my 6 to 24 inch leader behind that. And then I'll tie my line to the front end of that rattle. And that I have not had issues with fish hitting, like, because the rattle's so far away from the bait, I haven't had issues with the fish hitting that rattle that way. Where I've heard the problems you're talking about are where people thread them on.
Yeah.
And they slide down. And I can totally see how that'd work. They put down on that hard, unforgiving thing, slips out of their mouth is open just enough for that hook to shoot out of there, and you don't get them.
And you're both confused at that point. The fish is like,
yeah.
As confused as I was the first time I saw someone using a spook for catfish.
Right. It looks goofy, but there are times where it performs better than just a rattle. Like you can, the small, like call them testicle rattles is what I call them. The little ones, like they work in a bit.
Nuts.
Yeah, the spinny nuts, you can jerk it and get away with it with those too. But yeah, so there's situations where the spook style float seems to perform better than just a regular rattle.
How much does color matter?
What?
How much does color matter?
I don't think it matters.
I don't know. I mean, you see some nights that a bullhead gets hit, and some nights it's the green sunfish that gets hit. Some nights it's the crappie that gets hit. Do you think the color of that bait presentation maybe makes a difference? Or do you think it's the actual smell or taste of that bait.
Or is it just what's in front of what's closest to the fish?
Well, no, a lot of times it's a certain bait that gets thumped multiple times.
I've seen seasonal preferences. And then I think there are times where the bait absolutely matters, but I think the number one thing more than anything is where it's put. Like, and I find myself having skewed results on mine because I'll take what I think is the prime bait, like the best bait. I'm going to put it in what I think's the best spot.
Yeah.
And
the fourth rod down gets hit.
Right. But maybe I could have put any bait in the best. Like the best bait gets hit in the best spot, but maybe I could have put any bait in the best spot and it would have got bit. I don't know, but it's possible, you know. But there's definitely baits I'd prefer for different reasons. But whether it's because of what color they are, that I'm not sure on.
I feel like for big fish, the only color I really look at is the color of the gills of my bait fish. If they start getting pale and stuff, I'm changing the bait out. I'm not saying they're not going to eat an old bait, but
yeah. You're talking about the color as an indicator of your bait getting washed out.
Freshness, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're talking color, the bass guy's got to have the right answer, right?
Yeah.
What have you found, Billy?
I mean, black blue flake, green pumpkin, then you got your June bug, your fire craw,
But do you see, like, let's say watercolor? Does it make a huge difference on what bait you're going to throw?
I think so. I mean, for from a bass perspective, I'm that guy who's really telling you that the fish are going to see it no matter what. So I'm going to go with the color that's going to show up the best, and it's going to be black.
Yeah.
But I think more often than not, I think that color selection, in that regards, comes down to the forage that's available. If I'm fishing the Great Lakes, and I know they're chasing gobies, I'm fishing with something that has a goby pattern. If it's perch, then it's perch. But if I'm, fishing somewhere where it's, gizzard shad or alewife, it's, that's I think more so the mindset there. I don't know if that would necessarily translate.
Well, then I go back to like, why the hell do fish eat chartreuse twister tails?
No shit.
Like there ain't nothing natural about it, but they sure do catch fish.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
I'm pretty sure Bassmaster Elite just got one on a 3-inch chartreuse twister tail.
100%. No, and I think, and again, it goes back to the point that I made, right? Is that the fish just need to see it.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're dealing with a reaction, then yeah, I mean, just visibility matters the most. When you're dealing with pressured fish, that's where I think the need to get more natural is.
Yeah, and that kind of where Jackson's at, especially like your fish are as pressured as any fish in the entire country.
Yes,
so
because everybody in the country goes there.
Right. So the nuance and details can make a huge difference. And you also, so the other side of it too is you also have good water clarity where you're at, Jackson, where like when we're talking about does color matter, and I'm imagining me walking a bait in an 80-foot hole on the Mississippi River in like chocolate milk water, like they can't see a damn thing down there.
If it doesn't hit them in the head, they have no clue of the color.
Right. And sure, black would have a harder contrast and stick out more so than other colors, but even that, there's zero light penetration down that far. But where Jackson's at, I bet your catfish can see pretty good and some pretty substantial depths lots of times.
Yeah. I mean, Gunners was probably clearest with all the black grass and just natural filtration stuff up there, I guess. But we catch a lot of bigger fish down 30, 40 foot of water. It's dark, like they come out of 5 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're and you catch a fish out of an 80-foot hole in the Mississippi, and they're as white as a ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you go back to what you said though, Spencer, about how often you are incorporating rattles. A lot of that, in theory, would have to do with the water clarity.
Possibly, because where I've had the most success is usually the dingiest, grossest water.
And they're feeding based on they're feeding based on vibration.
Yeah, everything other than sight.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really like to use rattles because, like y'all were saying, we got some of the most pressured water down there in North Alabama. And I feel like everybody and their mamas out there dragging some rig that's got 82 rattles on it. I don't even put the rattling pegs in my bite me floats a lot of times now.
Well, I mean, pressure changes everything. It's crazy. It's crazy, and if you want to be on catching those fish, you got to be on the cutting edge of it, and you and your old man definitely are.
And I think that's a huge advantage, you growing up where you're at, and then go to a tournament where, 100 boats have been fishing hard for a week. They're just acting like your normal backyard fish do.
Yeah, they're like, I don't matter. Everything matters.
That's
the last
just a
time you
normal guy
saw that chartreuse grub?
What's that, Billy?
When's the last time you thought, or you think that bass saw that chartreuse grub?
Oh, that's a great question.
You're like, oh, my grandpa told me about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a pressured fishery. Like I did a guide trip last spring on Gunnersville, and we were supposed to put in at 7 at Waterfront. Well, we ended up going to Waterfront to Seabold, and I had to park in the auxiliary parking lot, and like 2 spots left at the 431 boat ramp. Just
Not
from all
surprised.
the bass guys.
I fished Gunnersville during a Toyota event, and I went out on Saturday. So it's that semifinal Saturday, and there was also 2 club events going on at the same time, plus your weekend traffic. There was probably 500 or 600 bass boats on Gunnersville that day. Like I was sitting there at one point in time, and I counted 24 bass boats around me. And then
You were in the wrong spot, buddy.
But that was every spot. It didn't matter where you went. There were just bass boats everywhere. It was crazy. And the fact that place keeps kicking out largemouth and spots the way it does, it's just insane. It is. You are blessed and cursed, Jackson. Like, you are on one of the most prolific fisheries watersheds that exists in the entire country, but it does get pounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn internet.
Damn.
YouTubers are the problem.
Freaking YouTube ruined everything. No. What else so we talked about floats. We talked about rattles. We talked about hooks. Bobbers. Jackson, you ever fish a bobber?
I do on some of my eater trips. I caught one like 39 or 40-ish on a bobber, like 4 foot underneath it, and I'm just going up on current seams and letting them throw out and open up the bell and just let it free float until it goes down, and then tell them to get it. But we had one that really hurt my feelings on a bobber one day, and as soon as I set the hook, it's splashing. Just turned and went out in the current, went straight up river and got us on a rock and broke us off. I'd say it's definitely over 50, but on a spinning reel, it'd been one crazy accomplishment, catch something like that on a bobber, 4 foot deep.
Was that your Walmart spinning reel that got owned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I put it on one of my bumping setups, he probably would have done the same thing. It was a good sized fish. They're mean up there in that shallow water.
We're gonna get into the bobbers that you use. I want to hear that, but to kind of spin off of that story, I had a guy who wanted to get on eaters, not last winter, but the winter before, and I was scanning this bank, kind of shallower water, and found a spot with a rock and a log. And I thought it was two rocks, but one of the rocks looked a little funny. But I'm like, I think it's still rock. Threw down there, ended up being a 49 pounder on a channel cat rod. Just freaking
Those are my favorite kind of rocks.
yeah. I went back and scanned by it because I'm like, was that a fish? Yeah, it was a fish. He was gone after that. There's just one rock down there. But anyway, so what floats are you using when you're doing stuff like that?
Like just pool noodle and a planer board clip.
Okay, so you're making your own.
Yeah, just little, I don't know, 2 or 3 inch section of pool noodle and a planer board clip.
How do you attach the planer board clip to the pool noodle?
Monofilament.
Okay, so you just run mono through it and
Yeah, just tie it to it.
Well, technically, all a bobber or a float does is float your bait. So as long as you have something buoyant that'll hold your bait up, it gets the job done. And that's one way to do it. There's the guys around here that make their own floats. This is my favorite. I have not found anyone who makes a bobber that's more fun than this. They take they take the snow cone cups, the cardboard snow, like you go to a baseball game, get you a snow cone. So they take those, they take a straw and stuff it through the bottom, and then they fill it with spray foam. It is the ugliest damn bobber you've ever seen in your life, but it works. It works.
For the record, we do carry planer board clips. I think we're working on the Catch the Fever pool noodle.
Yeah. It's research and development right now.
Yeah, we're still prototyping the
Snow cone. When I was growing up, all these balloons would be going up and downstream, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. But that was the old school bobber. For those big baits and big weights, they'd blow up a balloon and use that as their bobber.
And those work. I'm glad they've kind of got away from that because it's really you're just littering.
Yeah, why are there so many condoms floating on the Potomac?
Yeah.
For freshwater jellyfish hatch.
Stay away from the slimy ones.
Do those peak in the summer?
I guess. I about stepped on one in McFarland Park the other night.
Sorry about that.
Well, we know it wasn't Spencer's.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. I got my receipts in the house. Billy, I'm looking. Do you guys carry the Thill Big Fish Slider float?
Big Fish Slider? I do not believe so. No.
You guys just have the Thill center sliders.
Yes.
Okay. So I grew up channel cat fishing with the center sliders, and then I've kind of gotten to the point now where drifting baits in current. I really like that big fish slider because it's a wider. It's more of an oval shape. It's more buoyant because the problem
it's a shame we didn't sit down with you like 2 months ago and ask you what tackle we should look at bringing in.
Yeah, I wish you would have done that. These are the conversations that bring it out. When I'm put on this, I've never been good when I've been put on the spot.
All you got to do is go back through his notes because he writes everything on a fucking note. He never looks at it again. Everything's written down on a goddamn note.
Bullshit. I do. I looked at them yesterday. Because I'm like, do I have a log date in February? Because I have like all of these ideas, but I always like to go through my log and see if there's anything similar to give me more confidence or more ideas to go try out these ideas. And I have like no dates channel catfishing in February, hardly at all. Like this is.
Well, how many winters have you not been here in February?
Well, that's probably most of it, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you we're ice fishing.
Right.
And those don't translate over very well.
No.
Do you have any ice fishing logs?
No.
You drilled a hole.
No, I approach that like your regular fisherman, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
You guys got all right. So, a substitute for the Thill Big Fish slider would be like the Whisker Seeker unweighted EVA float, the 1 ounce. If you're going to drift baits for channel cats, the 1 ounce is a good one. You had another one up here, and I went by it. But yeah, those more oval style instead of the thinner ones, because when they hit a rock or your bait ticks the bottom, the bobber goes under, and sometimes it's hard to tell if it's snagged or if you got a bite. But with those bigger floats, those more buoyant floats, they just stand up a lot better. The Hawken Arrow float, the Great Lakes slip float, like that would be another great one. But anything that's more of that oval.
I'm sure they did not have that in mind when they designed that.
No, I guarantee you they didn't, but
they missed the market.
Yeah. And then for
the Great Lakes have some ginormous channel cat.
They do. I don't know how many people are drifting bobbers for them, but I'm sure you could catch them on a bobber.
I will be in May.
Yeah, nice. I forget you're going there. As far as big fish bobbers go, the Whisker Seeker EVA unweighted foam floats, the 3 ouncers, the 4 ouncers, they're awesome. My biggest Iowa flathead I've ever caught was under a bobber, bullhead under a bobber, 55-pounder, 2 feet of water at night. And
that 60 was on a bobber last summer.
Oh yeah, I forgot because I didn't reel it in.
You did not. You overslept.
Yeah.
Your alarm went off and you didn't wake up.
I want to say, so that fish, my fish, at least half of the flatheads that I've lucked onto or been around over 50 pounds have been on a bobber. At least
in shallowish water.
Yeah, under 10 foot, probably. Yours was deeper, but not.
But it was still the shallowest of that section.
That's true. It was probably 12. Probably 10 or 12 there.
It was in 12, but 15 feet past it was 30.
Right. There's just something about suspending a bait under a bobber. They struggle more, and back to what draws the bite in, those vibrations at night of a struggling bait are what gets those fish's attention more than anything, I believe. So that's like, why is a bullhead good? I don't think flatheads like to eat bullheads any more than anything else. Oh, sorry, bullhead. Anything else, they just struggle more and get their attention more.
How's the posi track of a 70 Galaxy work? It just does.
I think on that note, is there any tackle we've missed? We started rods, reels, lines, hooks, swivels. Does anybody use anything special for swivels? I don't. I use number 1s or 1/0s for the big fish. I use number 5s for channel cats.
I use 1/0s for everything.
Yeah. They're just stupid channel cats. You don't
I just buy them at 100 at a time. It don't matter.
What size swivels you use, Jackson?
I can't really tell you, to be honest with you. Just
See, that's
the
how
ones
much
that look right.
Right there. You just need some big, beefy, strong swivels.
The advertisement said it holds 175 pounds. I'm sold.
We got them. We got plenty of them. We're good.
Yeah, plenty of swivels. Fish USA. So I think that covers all the tackle. We'll roll into the last cast. What do you want? Who wants to start? Last cast, send off. What's your send off?
I'll start us off. Thank you guys for coming on. Billy, it's always fun to talk to you. And
Absolutely.
Jackson, you always get me with a hint of something to think about.
Yes.
Like you you just talk your normal everyday stuff, but as small river flathead guy growing up, you always, when I get off here, I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
It just gives me something to think about for like a day or two until I can kind of incorporate it. Because you grew up a lot different spot than I grew up. So, you know, I go out and try a lot of things that you're successful with in my area and see if it translates over. So it's always awesome when you're on. Spencer,
Yeah.
you're all right.
Yeah, sometimes. As long as you keep me out
Poor
of the,
Otto.
yeah, I've thought that too. Like,
Good thing he's got Ella to keep him out.
right. I know he's supposed to look like me because he's my kid, but I look at him, I'm like, holy shit, he looks a lot like me. It's just something stupid, you know, like
He'll grow out of it. It's
I
fine.
hope for his sake, I hope so.
Poor kid.
Yeah,
Or maybe he won't. Look at me and Dad.
that's true.
That is true.
I watched one of those older videos of I think he was on one of the G3 Sportsmen, like one of the first times he was on.
Yeah.
Holy shit, does he look just like you, or you look just like him?
Speaking of the G3 Sportsman, at the expo in Memphis, Scott Turner's come up to me and was talking to me for a good solid 15 minutes. And before I realized, he thought I was Daddy.
That is great. And I'm not surprised a bit, but
No.
yeah.
You guys do carry yourselves very similar as well.
Yeah. Well, Billy, what's your send off, bud?
No, just this is a fun category to play in. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a ton of experience when it comes to catfishing, but it's a great category with great people. I appreciate Spencer, Zach, Timothy, our entire pro staff team, and just the support we've got from the vendors and the manufacturers. I'm excited to continue to grow our product selection and grow out our team. We'll be at the we weren't able to make it down to the Memphis show. We will be in Kentucky, I believe, is the show in May, the National Catfish Conference. Spencer doesn't know it, but I'm going to do everything I can to try to get him there to help us out. And stop by. We'll be there. We'll have a nice big presence, and we'll be doing a lot of fun things there. But no, this is I love how tight knit the catfish category is.
For sure.
Not only on the tournament side of things, but just overall, and what guys like yourself, Spencer, what you've been able to do to continue to grow out the category that has grown so fast. It's cool to watch. It's cool to be a part of.
Just have a good time. That's where I'm at with all of it. Couldn't agree more with everything you said there. We'll talk about the expo. That wasn't on my radar, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say about it.
I just slide that in front of a bunch of people, or like 2 or 3
Yeah,
people.
no peer pressure at all.
Oh, we didn't do our giveaway. I didn't think of a good what do we have to give away?
Oh, well, we got some slime line here.
So we got 50, we got 80 for the heavy cover.
I got 50 and 80 on the heavy cover. We got 20 pound, and then I got a half pound spool of 20 pound.
All right, so we got a 1/4 pound spool of 20 and a 1/2 pound spool of 20.
Yes, sir.
Well,
And
it's
we got
better
a $25 gift card to throw in too from Fish USA.
And a $25 gift card.
We were gonna do a Ravix casting rod, but Spencer sold those too well.
Sorry.
None left.
I didn't think of a good way, and we're at the end for the giveaway. So how about let's do something social media related and give them away a different way.
Love it.
Okay, cool. So
But tie it into the podcast. So if you're listening right now, go to Spencer's going to have a special post tomorrow that gives out the number 47. So if you comment the number 47, then you are in the running for those products.
Yeah.
But that way, people listening right now will be in the running, not just anybody.
It might be, we might give them away next week's podcast, or we might do something in between, but I want to do something fun. Like, I want to think about it for a minute and put some thought into it and do something fun.
Buddy, anything you think about for 1 minute's not going to be worth shit. You might want to take the week.
Well, good thing we have a week till the next podcast. So we're good.
So at some point, Spencer will announce how we're going to give this stuff away.
It may be June.
Yeah.
Well,
Somebody's going to get it. Jackson, what's your send off?
Thanks for having me. It's always a blast. We talked a lot about reels tonight. Real maintenance and real repair. Jarrett Tempest, the best one I know of. And that's part of keeping your gear up. Other than that, just spend time on the water and learn all you can.
See, just Jackson, just giving us more shit to think about. Just like Ryan said. If you are looking to catch a giant fish on the Tennessee River, Jackson's the man to get a hold of. It's God. Again, names. What's your guide service name?
Southern Cats Guide Service. So you look us up on Facebook.
There you go.
Send a message through there. Look up my number through that Facebook.
Southern Cats Guide Service. He's on the Tennessee River. And then it's kind of cold here right now. So if you want to make a trip a little further south where it's a little bit warmer and you have an opportunity to catch something freaky big, Jackson's got to get a hold of for that, for sure. Jackson, you don't have a YouTube, do you? But you do Snapchat, right?
No, I do got Snapchat. I don't really post on there. I post some on TikTok, and then just that Southern Cat page.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Captain Jackson Mitchell on TikTok.
Yeah, maybe how this podcast is going. Maybe I have been more sleep deprived than I thought I was.
Is it that or the gasoline?
Oh yeah, I might just be high right now. That might be it too. Next week, same deal. Facebook Live, 7 p.m. Upload them to the River Certified Podcast YouTube channel, so you can either watch it on there, you can watch it on here. Haven't got to adding anything to Spotify or anything like that yet. I'll get there eventually. I apparently have a giveaway to take care of before that. And then I also have to talk about going to a conference before that. So,
and the baby's awake.
Oh yeah.
You gonna fish the World Championship?
I mean, maybe.
Micah?
I wasn't thinking about it, but if I'm going to have to be there anyway, then maybe. But appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate you guys hopping on. I always have a good time with you. And Billy, I wanted to throw in when you were talking about not being an expert in anything, you have enough sarcasm and good one-liners. It doesn't matter. So you're always welcome on here for that reason, if nothing else. But
I love it.
We normally end on daylight savings time, which is in 2 weeks. But like I've been having so much fun with these. They were getting some traffic and just kind of building on it that we'll probably keep them going for a little bit while longer. You know, it's just a good excuse to hang out and
Wednesday beers
or spin drifts in this case.
Potato.
I mean, I could imagine how bad it'd be between me being high on this gasoline in this garage mixed with bush lights. It could get ugly. But anyway, thanks everybody taking time to listen. Be back again next week. We're going to keep rolling for a while, having a good time. Hopefully you are too. We'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.